Doing an update from the road.
Yeah.
Update on the road.
An update on the road.
From the road, on the road. I don't know.
Whichever.
But we just wanted to say hello to everyone. We are traveling from San Diego up to Palm
We're heading
Springs?
to Banning.
Yeah,
which is like 20 minutes outside of Palm Springs.
Okay, so we're going to go check out Joshua Tree, but we thought we'd talk to you guys today and give you an update. Anyway, we...
This will be our last stop in California.
Yeah, so let's talk about California. How's it been?
It was a nice 2 weeks. The park that we were at was like really great, and I highly recommend it. If you want to be in Southern California with inexpensive prices and good amenities, it's a nice place. And that is Sweetwater Summit Regional Park.
Yeah, San Diego. So if you come to San Diego, I would highly recommend that park. Fantastic concrete slabs that are perfectly flat, full hookups, great views from your campsite, and
Chances are you will have bunnies, coyotes,
snails.
snails like I can't even tell you, and the occasional mockingbird at 1:30 in the morning who wants to serenade you to sleep.
Now you're making it not sound so great. But,
Okay, but it was just that, like, we had that happen just like 1 or 2 nights.
yeah, so the birds are nice, but yeah, there was some mockingbirds that were annoying us. But
Yeah.
anyway, the only real downside besides those birds is there are planes flying overhead a lot. And at least when we were there, it seemed like there was a lot of helicopter activity from the naval base.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really bother us, so we didn't really mind. So
I think for, if you're looking to be near all the city stuff, that I think it's a great option. I would much rather be there than, we did see like a couple of campgrounds. One that was like right out on the beach, and another one that was in kind of the Bay Area. And they were so jam-packed like sardines in there.
yeah,
It's not worth it to me to be there,
yeah.
even if it is beach, because here's the deal. There were like 5 deep rows, and there was, minimal space between each of those. So to me, I would much rather be up on the hill. We had beautiful views.
Yeah.
Huge spaces.
There's at least 20 feet between you and your neighbor on either side.
Yeah.
So it was really, really nice. We would definitely come back. If we came back, we would probably stay there again.
Right.
Because it's only $35 a night.
Yes.
So
for full hookups.
I know a lot of people in California, or people talking about California online, are like, it's $100+ a night to stay anywhere in California.
And I'm sure it is to be packed in like sardines down on those beach places.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
And that's not our deal.
So then it would be super expensive, but we found that, well, this is the first regional park I think we've stayed at, but we've stayed at county parks, state parks, like, I don't know if we've ever stayed at city park, but regional parks, yeah, so they're inexpensive. They usually have really good facilities, and usually there's a ton of space where you're at between your neighbors and you. So we like staying at those.
Yeah. So I will tell you, because this brings up a really good point, because I've been seeing a lot of people talking online about how hard it is to be like a full-time RVer. And so I'm going to be honest, and Mark will tell you, I spend a lot of time looking for different places for us to stay. Usually resorts are my last kind of want a place, because we prefer to have more space between us and our neighbor. So I will seek out like any of the county, the regional, the state parks and stuff first. So there's no one, I see a lot of people ask this online too, is there one website you can go to that will tell you about all those things? No, there isn't. I literally go to each of those things and check and see what they have available that matches our length. And I also have to go and check. I spend a lot of time doing this. I check to see what kind of Wi-Fi or cell signal that they've got in the area, because Mark works from home. The kids use the computers for just one of their classes, so I have to make sure that we have some kind of good signal, because if we don't, then it means that we've got to travel into town somewhere to use where we're going to get better signal on our phone.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time researching the different parks, and I spend a lot of time researching our cell signal. So from that aspect, it is very time consuming. There's nothing luxurious about that portion of our life. probably spend hours and hours and hours doing it. So yeah, just being honest.
Yeah. Okay. So that brought up.
Yeah. Would I change it? No. I mean, we found some really beautiful parks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the forums on social media are always good for some of this stuff too. And when somebody recommends a place like where we were just at, I make sure to write that stuff down. So
Yeah.
So yeah, this aspect of like full-time life is time consuming and sometimes really frustrating. You can ask Mark about 5:15 a.m. the other day about what kind of fit I threw, because getting into a particular state park is becoming absolutely unbearable, and
Yeah.
I have given up for like right now because I just cannot, like, it's just
It's okay.
it literally.
We've got a plan B. I'm
I have
gonna
a
make it
plan
happen.
B and I have a plan C,
All right. Well, my plan B, I have,
so we're not gonna tell.
is a secret, but if we do it, it'll be super duper awesome.
I
So
really hope we do it.
anyway,
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it. I've given up on it. So
sorry I'm not looking at you guys in the camera, but I am also in like 6 lanes of traffic,
yeah,
and my lane keeps ending as like exits come up, or like they just merge them, so I keep having to like move over. But yeah, she brought up another point. So needing Wi-Fi is important because I started a new job.
yes,
And it's fully work remote, obviously, or we wouldn't be out doing this.
yep,
The job's in Tampa, and so back in Florida on the East Coast, and we're currently out in California. So I've been getting up at 5 a.m. to get my workday started.
yes,
Now, the funny part is the new job, there was some miscommunication between HR and my team. So they didn't even really know I was working until like they thought I was starting like next week. But I really started 2 weeks ago. So I did get like super awesome sit around and do nothing for basically 2 weeks. I did my onboarding.
yeah. And you did some training and stuff like
and
that.
I did training and stuff.
You had to get your equipment sent to you and get that all set up.
Yeah,
and
so there was stuff.
Yeah.
And really they have like a slower onboarding process anyway, and they said it's pretty typical
Yeah.
that happens. But yeah,
You are
so
definitely in an exit only lane.
yeah, again,
This one is definitely exit only.
yeah. So
Sorry guys, I'm trying to do 2 jobs also.
but this job more so than the others seems to have a lot more meetings, and they like to be on camera, so finding internet is definitely a priority. So
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm hoping to get an email sometime soon, in the next month or two, from Starlink, so we can get satellite internet. It looks like a lot of people with Starlink are getting their roaming turned on, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, that would be
And so
so exciting.
if we could get that,
If we can do that, then I can go back to us boondocking more and less like
Yeah.
less in the cities, which I prefer to do. But sometimes with the boondocking, I can't always guarantee that they're going to have sufficient enough signal for Mark to get his job done. So
yeah.
because we're not independently wealthy, we're working from the road. So
Yeah. We have not won the lotto yet, so
Yeah, no.
we're still,
no.
fingers crossed.
But another good point I will tell you about full-time RV life is, so Mark's getting up at 5 o'clock. You had a meeting at like 5:30 the other morning.
6
think, right?
o'clock's been my earliest one.
Okay, 6 o'clock. So what is Mark doing about that? Like, while the rest of us are like attempting to sleep. We're not. We're just getting up. Eventually is what's happening. He flips on the light, and that shines on Kennedy because she's on a top bunk. And so she's just a super light sensitive sleeper, so she immediately is up. He needed to be on camera. I guess you just had to be audio.
Yeah, so
So I hopped out of the bed and I was like, here. So I hopped out of our bedrooms because he can close both the doors and not be disturbed. So there's a very also
Yeah.
not luxurious part of our life is that
so
most
working.
of this week I've been up since 5:30 every day and occasionally 4:45 a.m.
Yeah, so working out on the West Coast and staying on the East Coast time schedule means that I am up really early. But
the bonus is,
it also means that my day is done around 2 o'clock. So
it's been great because we've been like wrapping up school before lunch, and then we're having lunch, And then we like hit the road shortly afterwards because Mark's workday is already over.
Yeah.
So we've had time to go and do stuff. So from that aspect, it's been really great to be able to do that.
Yeah. So, but working on the road, and with the 5 of us being in a 28-foot travel trailer, it means that I usually start my day on the dining room table, and then when everybody gets up, I like move outside, which is awesome. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
But depending on where we're camped and the sun and the glare that I'm getting, I might not be able to work out there.
So then we might switch and send the kids. We may go outside instead, which we're all enjoying. We like to go outside and work, especially if the weather's nice. So it's been nice that we have gotten out of the winter weather.
It just means that normally in a given work day, I have 3 different desks that I'm working
you move
at.
locations.
Because I can set up on the bed, and then I have a little platform that the laptop sits on that I can raise up, and it'll be like a standing desk. So I can do that, or I can like literally lay down in bed and work if I don't have any meetings, or I can sit on the bed and configure it to sit properly for me there. So there's like a whole bunch of like different ways we're trying to figure out. And I just mentioned, I took the AC cover off for the intake and found that all the wires were stuffed into our vent instead of properly stored away.
Yeah, it was blocking our duct to our room.
So literally no air could get through because there was like 8 to 10 foot of wire just jammed in there and blocking our vent. So properly like taping that thing back up and hiding those wires like made an absolute huge difference.
Yeah.
We were in Colorado and on I-25, which is like a notoriously terrible, always under construction road full of potholes, and hit a pothole and our leaf spring broke. You know, it just something that's going to happen, right? So we're weighed down pretty good with our life being inside this thing.
Yeah.
And you know, they put springs on there that are to weight, but you know, like just stuff happens. So
yeah, I think another thing, and this one's pretty common, and I see people in the forums talking about this quite a lot, is water fixtures or like pipe, like plumbing fixtures.
Yeah.
And we had that happen. Like it was probably about 2 months in, maybe, and the pipes under the kitchen sink, the fittings had loosened and very slow drip, but enough that like it was coming out underneath of the cabinet.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuff, I don't necessarily think it's like a issue manufacturing wise. It's just we're moving all the time and things just get a little bit loose sometimes.
Yeah.
And so that kind of stuff, like you have to be proactive and check more regularly.
Yeah, I feel like I've never talked to a full-timer that hasn't had leaks.
Yeah.
From some water from somewhere. So we had it underneath the sink, the kitchen sink. We also had it behind our shower wall because of the faucet connections for the shower.
Yep.
And then replacing our water heater, which is another thing that happened to us. Our water heater broke, so I had to replace it. Had some leakage there. So, you know, you just have to pop those things off, tighten them up, and then you're fine. So
yeah, I mean, you know, people are like, oh, campers are so terrible, everything is breaking. And I do think that there are some people who like really had some awful luck with their campers. But on the flip side of that, I think you just have to be really proactive in this lifestyle to constantly check things in your camper.
Yeah.
Because of the constant movement and stuff,
I think
things just happen a little bit quicker than they were probably originally thought to happen.
Right.
Because people were only taking their campers out originally maybe like once a month.
Right.
Kind of thing. And now we're moving every 2 weeks.
So to sum up that thought, I think you need to be in a mindset where you need to be handy and be able to take care of things yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're full-timing and you're traveling, you're not going to have access to the repair shop, or the warranty you bought back in Florida ain't no good out in California. They don't care. Or you can't have your life sitting inside an RV repair shop for 2 weeks, right?
Right.
It's your house, so you can't really rely on the warranty to get those repairs done, or you're gonna have to go find like an Airbnb or like somewhere else to stay. It's a nightmare because it's your house. Like, think about if you had a house and they were like, hey, we need you to leave it for a month, right? It'd be like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So,
and for us, that means we've got, 3 little people that we've got to bring with us in addition to 2 cats. So we want to avoid that at pretty much all costs. So the great news is, because there's so many people doing this, the University of YouTube is really, really great. Chances are you can find your specific model, maybe your specific type, like appliance and the year it was built and everything. You can probably find a video for it on YouTube with somebody who's had a similar problem and has had to fix it, repair it, replace it.
Yeah, so be prepared to have to fix some minor things yourself. Obviously something major goes wrong,
get a good tool set.
You gotta get help. But yeah, have the right tools on board to fix things. And it's tough to say what those right tools are, but and I certainly brought too many tools when we started, and I've sold them or given them away, and figured out what we needed along the way. So that's probably another thing that we should talk about, is just like, if you're doing this full time, you probably bought too much stuff, right?
Listen, we pared down stuff, like sold stuff, gave away stuff. And then I had stuff like set aside, because when we originally started, we were going to move to a boat, and for many reasons, and another day we can talk about, but we didn't make it to the boat, and we decided on this instead. And so the boat was going to be a little bit bigger than our camper. So I've told some people this story before, but like, I remember sitting in the camper and Mark brought the boxes for the kitchen to the camper. And he brought them in, and I opened them up, and I looked at the boxes, and I looked at our cabinets, and I sat there probably for 20 minutes just staring at the boxes and staring at the cabinets. And I eventually just pulled out 2 pots, 2 frying pans, the smallest cookie sheet. I think I've got 1 casserole dish, the few major appliances that I wouldn't part with, which was like our Vitamix and our Instapot and the bread maker. And like, that's it. Like, everything else I pushed back out the door, and I was like, go drop it off at Goodwill.
Yeah.
And so, somebody like...
That's a hard thing to go through, right?
Yeah, it was really, really hard. I mean, it's like stuff that like...
Yeah, so move-in day or move-in week or whatever it is for you is going to be tough. It's going to be really tough, because you have all these ideas and these things that you don't want to part with necessarily yet. So I think we jumped into it pretty quick. I think if you took more time and you could get your head around what you're keeping and what you have to give away, or what you can give to family or friends that you might be able to get back at a later date if you ever want it again or something.
Right.
But like, we had to get rid of a lot of stuff, and it's tough, because you're like, this is my life. I bought these things. I love these things. And now I have to get rid of them and do away with them. So in the grand scheme of things, a lot of that stuff really doesn't matter that you think matters. But it's hard at the time to part with those things. But for us, it's kind of like, if I haven't used it in a month or 2 months, like, why am I taking it around the country with me?
Yeah, so I think after we moved into the camper and started our travels, I think for the first 6 months, I was constantly reorganizing and constantly getting rid of stuff. I don't think there was a town from Florida to wherever we went in the first 6 months that I didn't be like, here's a pile of stuff to take to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Because as you keep going down the road, you're like, oh, that thing that I had to have with us, and I thought that we would absolutely use, turns out I never used it, and it's taken up valuable real estate in the camper. And there's only so much. And then we also went through times where we were like, all right, we got too much weight in here. Like, we really do need to just get rid of stuff. And that was hard too, from the aspect of the kids for homeschooling. I was sure that the whole entire classroom needed to come with us,
right.
But it didn't. And that was that took me a while to go through their stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't need 15 things of this. I don't need all that. And to get in, I think because we have such a mentality as a society to go to the big box stores, grab giant quantities of toilet paper to store. Right. There's just not room in our camper for that anymore.
No.
I try not to buy over 4, and if I have to get a 6-pack of toilet paper, I'm kind of bummed about it, because I'm like, there's no room for those 2 others. Where am I going to put them? I've got to store them somewhere. So I think it's hard to learn that I didn't have to stockpile everything anymore, and that I really just need to keep supplies for I say roughly a 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Food wise, toilet paper, paper towels, like that. It's usually like around a 2-week supply. So, but just trying to get out of that whole mentality is difficult all on its own.
All right, well, I don't know how long we've talked, but I feel like we've talked a long time.
Yeah.
So I think we should wrap it up there.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you watching, and if you have any questions, we love talking to people about what we do. So ask away down below, or shoot us an email or anything like that. We'd love to talk to you and help you out.
Hopefully this will help you make some decisions if you're considering this lifestyle or you're just starting out. And
So thanks for watching, guys.
don't forget to like
And subscribe and do all the stuff you're supposed to do to make us rich and famous on YouTube. Which we are not.
No.
All right, guys. Bye.